Happy Tuesday. Hope it's a great week for you. Beautiful summertime. The heat is on. That sounds like it'd be a good song. Anyway, glad you're with me today. Come on into my little world for just a moment. We'll share a thought or two. I was going through some things the other day. Some of them used to be on the shelves and so forth, but got crowded out. Other things moved into their place and so forth. But I came across a VHS tape, a recording. Wish I had a place to play it. A VHS recording of an old movie. Well, it's not a real old movie, but it's got quite a few years on it now. It's the movie A Trip to Bountiful. I got it from my parents' house after they'd both passed away. Took it home with me because it was one of my mother's favorite movies. She loved that movie, A Trip to Bountiful. Turns out it was, I think, Geraldine Page's last movie that she made. She died just a couple of years after the movie was made, but she won an Academy Award for the role that she played in the movie A Trip to Bountiful. I don't know, you can watch the movie if you want to. I'm sure it can be found, can be downloaded or purchased or whatever you desire to do. I'm sure it can be found out there if that interests you. In the story, it tells of the woman who's become older now. I don't know exactly what her age was in the movie. It's been a long time since I've seen the movie. Geraldine Page was in her 60s at that point that she plays the role, but I think she's trying to play a role of a lady maybe even a little bit older. But she lives in an apartment with her son and daughter-in-law and so forth, and not very happy about her life. She's not exactly happy about where it's gone and where it is, and she keeps remembering yesterday. Maybe that's a whole lot of getting a little bit older in life, but sometimes even when we're younger, we start thinking about the way things used to be, the old days. Spent a lot of time listening to older people tell me that. Now maybe I'm one of those. I think about telling my children stories as we went by the old elementary school and telling them stories of things that took place in classrooms, and I thought, here I am, the old guy telling the old stories. But then you already knew that. But I thought about this story and how she would talk about that. And finally, unbeknownst to her son and daughter-in-law, she slips away, takes the bus ride, and makes her way back to Bountiful. There she wants to go back to the old house, to the old things, to the things that were there, the things that she remembers from her youthful, younger days. Days when her boy was just a little boy. It's an impressive thing. One of the things I do remember about the movie is the playing of the song, "Come home, ye who are weary, come home." And maybe that's the intriguing part of it, is because I recognize there's a part of us when we get into our lives, if things are not the way we want them to be, if we're uncomfortable or we just feel like so much has slipped past us, we want to go back. We want to grab hold of the days gone by. And that's exactly what she does in this movie, and does it quite well. But that is, she finally gets back to Bountiful, makes her way there and finds the old home place. It's not what it was. The old house is done in. It's not the familiar place she remembers. It's not the home she once knew. And of course, in the end of the movie, she finally needs to make her way with her son back to the present. I think about that, and I think how much we would like to go back, and I guess any of us are intrigued by memories of things gone by and things that we did, and we remember special events, special times, maybe birthdays or summer times or special times that you were with your family, travels and trips and closeness of your siblings and family. Even in the midst of all the things that went on in that, you still remember it and long for those days. Sometimes an older couple remembers the days of their youth when they were young marrieds or when their children were small and at home. And even long for those days because we remember the best moments. We remember the happy times. But much like the character in the movie, if we were to go back, we would find things are not what we remember them to be. They would not be what we want them to be. For the reality would come back home. And we would remember what was, yes, but then we would have to see what is. And time does a number on just about anything. And that's why we're reminded, and Jesus talks about today and today and today, not getting caught up in tomorrow. But there's also that idea that's there. Let's do what we can today. Jesus said in John 9 and verse 4, I must work the works of him who sent me while it is day, for the night is coming when no one can work. We don't get to go back to yesterday. We can't travel back in time. We can't step into that time machine with an H.G. Wells novel and travel back in time or travel forward in time. There's no such time machine for us. And it is a blessing to be able to think about the memories and hold those precious moments in mind, but the reality is we live in the present, we live in the day. I must work the works of him who sent me while it is day. Today has its special moments and opportunities if we're just willing to see them. Too often we get caught up in the negatives of the day rather than seeing the positives. And we've talked about that right here in this venue that I've shared with you. But I think about how disappointed she was in going back and seeing what had happened to the things of yesterday. And maybe life is not so bad where we are when we realize yesterday is gone. Seems like there's a song like that in there. We kiss it goodbye, and yet we hold it close and we remember it. Maybe that's why we visit cemeteries and stand there for a moment and reflect on lives that have been a part of us. And there's so many. I think about my career and the people that I've known in the last 45 years and the work that has gone on. The people that have come and gone, and many of them are no longer in this world. Some of them are still out there. And you see them and time has changed them like it's changed any of us. And yeah, the smile might still be there, but it's not the same, is it? So let's live today. We may not be where we want to be. We may not be where we're going to be. So let's work in that direction. Let's take advantage of what we have in the present, rather than taking our trip to Bountiful and trying to go back to yesterday only to find disappointment. Let's move to the future and build in it. Build in it the best things that can possibly be. There's a whole record of people who began late in their lives to build their future. And I think that's a great thing. Painters, sculptors, teachers who came along late in life and grabbed hold of something that maybe they always wanted to do but never quite did. And now it's time. Do it now. Do it today. You don't have to go back to yesterday to find the good times. For the good times, the best of times, are right now. We may long for the old days and the good old days, in a way. But if we really look carefully, the best of times is where we are. Hey, listen, I'm glad that you were with me today. Let's do the works of him who sent us. Let's do it today. Let's don't wait till it's too late. Hey, thanks for sharing a few moments with me today. And I hope it's a great day for you. I hope it's a wonderful summertime that you're enjoying. We don't know what tomorrow's going to bring, so let's take care of today and enjoy it the best we possibly can. Thanks again for being with me, and we'll talk about some more a little further down the road.